everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how to keep rabbits out of your greens. So we have loads of rabbits here. I mean, loads of rabbits. And I know that a lot of people just shoot them. It's so hard for me to do that. We don't eat rabbit, and we would, other than like maybe saving pelts or something, like we don't really use the pelts either. I am one of those people where I can't just not use something. So it's just too hard for me. So we've talked about hunting the rabbits and using it for dog food. We've actually given Maggie some of the rabbits, and it didn't work out the way we thought it was going to. So yeah, anyway, so we like to try to keep them sort of in check because rabbits can get like crazy overpopulated really fast. But we just come up with ways to kind of coexist with our rabbits. So we're going to show you how we do our beds, especially like right now, our broccoli, cauliflower, tomato, celery bed is pretty full in there. And so I want to just give you some helpful hints on what you can do to minimize rabbits getting in. And guys, rabbits will clean house. I mean, this was like years ago, before we had our little makeshift little, what we call the salad bowl, before we had all that. There was a night that we had planted, I believe it was cabbage, and we had like 100 cabbages planted in there, and we came out and they were gone, like gone. So I don't know how they eat that much in one night, but they did. So we, right off the bat, got posts that we had, and we kind of keep it, we don't like cement any of the posts or anything, because cementing the posts, like, we would have to be very definitive on the area that we wanted, and we've never been like that. So we just took a manual post hole digger, and we just, you know, we didn't use cement or anything. We just put the posts down in. But in between the posts, we dug about 6 to 7 inches out, and then we wrapped chicken wire around the whole thing. And so the chicken wire, we got like the deepest chicken wire that we could find. And once we did that, so we had about 6 to 7 inches underground, because usually an animal won't dig any more than 6 inches. And so we went ahead and did that underground, but we still had, I mean, up to like thigh high, we still had a good amount above ground. So we kind of just like kept that. Never had a rabbit problem again. It was so fantastic. But right now, that needs maintenance. So we're gonna go ahead and get in there and kind of give you a better view. I also want to tell you that when you do that, especially with chicken wire, so we struggle with crabgrasses. And I don't know if you know anything about crabgrass. Oh wow, they are so hard to take out. And they can have like, you know, a 2 foot, 3 foot long root. And if you leave even a piece in, it'll grow right back. And so it will grow up in the chicken wire. That is frustrating to get out. So Elijah and I are gonna go out, and we are going to pull all that out, and then we're going to try to remedy us pulling so much out every year. So let's go get started. Okay, so here is what we call the salad bowl, and you can see that we have chicken wire. We have, you know, a post like every 8 to 10 feet. This was all kind of thrown together sort of on a whim, but we're gonna go ahead and clear all this out. So one, so we can plant and our plants can be healthy. But two, as we pull all this out, I'm gonna show you how we actually keep the rabbits at bay. So let's get started. All right, so right here in the, I call it the top corner, or the top row, we have cleared that out. Elijah and I did, and we went ahead and planted. So let me come in and show you. So like right here, that is a tomato plant, and then all around the tomato plant, I planted marigolds, and on each side, I have a crimson basil planted. So each little section with its tomato plant has a surrounding of, oh, I'm sorry, there's the tomato plant. And here is the marigold. Oh, that's funny. But we did this in each spot. So we have a tomato plant. Tomato plant, nope, yeah, tomato plant, and then all around we have marigold and basil at each side. The basil is good companion planting, and the marigolds are good for keeping the rabbits at bay. Look how gorgeous these spirea are. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Oh, there's just so many of them. Oh, I love spring. So after we had done that, Elijah and I put down double the black tarp, and then we put some gravel right there, just because we get really tired of digging crabgrass out of these kind of uncomfortable spots, and they start encroaching in on our plants. I wouldn't care if it only came up in the fence, but it starts encroaching on the entire growing area, and that's frustrating. So we, as Elijah just stretched this chicken wire out, he discovered that it's extremely, Elijah, show them how kind of wonky it is. So yeah, I mean, we've had that up for like 10 years. So we're going to clip it at the edge, Elijah is, and we're going to put up new chicken wire. And the chicken wire goes up about, what is that, Elijah? Like thigh high. And we also have chicken wire down under the ground, because gang, rabbits dig. They dig, and they'll dig in the oddest things too. Like, I've seen people who come in and they'll put rock, like big rock, not this little rock like we did, but they'll put big rocks down and think that a rabbit won't go through it, and that is a fatal mistake. It's a lot of work too, so I'm trying to tell you what I know works. Now, I have seen where people, between their posts, they'll bury galvanized steel and they'll just connect it to each post. I've also seen where people will put galvanized metal sheets right here on the outside and butt them against their posts and whatever fencing they're using. And that would work too, as long as you cover like everything. The only thing I would be worried about with that method is rabbits dig. So if they got under the galvanized metal, I mean, because they won't dig like further than 6 inches. So that's why we put about 6 to 12 inches of chicken wire down below in the ground, all the way around this whole entire thing. The chicken wire goes in the ground all the way. So when we were clipping this stuff out, you know, we kept the chicken wire in the ground in. So we're just trying to freshen things up, and I really wanted to start this with double black tarp and the rock so that we don't spit, because the whole point of gardening is that you're actually gardening. And I understand that weeding is necessary, but weeding crabgrass is the most miserable thing in the whole world. So we're gonna put up the new chicken wire and go from there. Okay, it's starting to rain. I'm gonna run out and show you really quickly just a summary of what we did really fast. Oh, on my way out there, I had to show you this. That's our first little Colette rose. Isn't that so gorgeous on this trellis? Oh, I've got it on both sides. That's gonna be so pretty. But we're coming through here and this is what we have done. And we will also be putting up a strip of wood that goes across the top of this from post to post that actually keeps it from getting flimsy. And then we will put our garden staples down here on the bottom to keep it firm on the bottom too. And then remember, under this rock and tarp, we actually have the chicken wire in the ground as well. So this is not only more tidy, but it's going to keep us from doing a lot more work. We'll also put in our gates. So we'll have a gate here. It will also be chicken wired or maybe hardwire cloth. And then below the ground under here is also chicken wire. That is so important. I'm gonna go back in and we'll discuss this. So the mega important thing here is that you get something underground, because rabbits dig. If you're dealing with other pest problems, actually this will help with, like, I know that my dad lives in Alabama and he had a really hard time with armadillos going underneath his stuff. So this helps with armadillos. It helps with lots of stuff that's going to come up through and eat your... Now, wherever you're at, I would talk to other people about what the pests are and how deep they go, because I have heard of some places needing to go 12 inches underground. But there are people, I've watched people successfully use galvanized metal from post to post underground, and they just dig out with their shovel and they just put in the metal, and that's kind of a fix it and forget it. Now, if you're absolutely positive about where you're setting up your garden space and you know you're not going to move it, why not Quikrete it? I mean, if I was not so like about moving things around, which I am, I do it at my house too. I move things around way too much. I would quit creep between our posts. I mean, I think that like that's a really good option. And then you can go as deep as you want. And I mean, you can go as deep as you want with the galvanized metal and the chicken wire also. I just want to make sure that you're, especially where you're putting your greens, your carrots, you know, your brassicas, they're safe. Like some of it we put in raised beds. We have no pressure from the rabbits there. So I put a lot of my carrots in there. But like I really like to grow brassicas in the ground, and buddy, they will just gobble those right up. I came out one year and we had this beautiful row of carrots. I mean, the tops were like, you wanted to eat the tops of the carrots. They were just so beautiful and so lush. And we started pulling them and there was only like this much carrot. They had eaten the root, the bottom of the carrot, and left like this much so that it was still growing on top. Oh, that was such a disappointing year. So I just hate for anyone to do a bunch of work in the garden. Gardening can be relaxing, but it can be so stressful too, especially when you've put in all the work of starting seeds or maybe just planting your seeds and watering and, you know, weeding and all this care. And then you wait like 60, 90, 120 days only to not have the fruit from your crop. And that is just, that's too disappointing. So I just wanted to share a few ways that I have seen people do it. I wanted to show you how we do it. And if you, so I love that everybody has been commenting more lately, because we do read them. I do take some things under advisement. There are some just great suggestions that you all have because we're all gardeners and it's nice to share with each other. So remember, if we can keep those rascally rabbits out of our greens, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.